I'm going to unpack the myth behind the science high school. Now, these science high schools are institutions such as Thomas Jefferson School of Science and Technology in Northern Virginia. There's also Illinois Math and Science Academy, Bergen Academies in New Jersey. And these schools are very well known for elite science education. They offer unique perks like Research Wednesdays at IMSA, where students get early lab exposure. But here's what most parents do not realize. Being in these science high schools don't make your teen a science student. So what do I mean by that? These are students that win science fairs, students that land high school internships at research lab, publish their own studies. These achievements and accolades are not guaranteed just because your child goes to a science high school. So, and look, the top science fair winners, those that get into MIT, Stanford, and so forth, they already arrive with skills. And they get placed in internships at labs because they can contribute. And without that foundation, students at these science high schools end up in the 90% who never even submit to a science competition. So I want you to really get a clear understanding of this. Being in science high school does not make students automatically qualify for these prestigious achievements and awards in their high school career. And I explained this in detail in previous videos, but research labs see high school interns as a liability more than an asset. Because let's imagine you're a university professor and you agree to host a high school student once a week. And that student knows very little chemistry, can't touch expensive equipment, and it might slow down your team. So what do you assign them? You let them clean the lab, making copies, very basic elementary work. And training a novice, a high school student, costs them time, accuracy, and potentially money. So students that write published papers, win Intel Science Fair Awards, they don't arrive empty-handed. They show up to interviews with prior projects, data analysis experience, programming samples, or specific ideas for how they can contribute. They don't just say, oh, I hope to learn and get exposure. No, they say, I've already built this tool. I think it aligns with your research on XYZ, and here's how I can help. They've already learned the tools and theory, often on their own or with a mentor, before setting foot in the lab. This is how they get in to these exclusive opportunities. And the reality is that most high schools and even top science schools don't teach this. They might offer AP, computer science, or lab-based classes, but not real research analysis. So where do the students learn the skills? Not in high school. From family, siblings, online platforms, from spending years focused on one area and building something real. They don't just tinker. They finish, they test, they improve, they get the help from mentors, and they show up to labs with actual value to offer. And that's why professors trust them with real work. So they work with professors that turn into mentorship that leads to real results that gets them into elite college admission. Too many families think that if we just get my child into IMSA or Bergen Academies, everything else will follow. MIT, Stanford is going to be a given. and that is a myth. What follows depends on what your child brings to that experience. Just like in math where two kids in the same grade, one kid is doing algebra 2 and the other is doing multivariable calculus, two kids in the same lab may be working at wildly different levels. And the difference is not in the school. It's in the student's preparation and their ability to contribute immediately. So if your child wants to be one of the few who thrives in the research setting, don't focus on just getting into the science school. Focus on preparing them to be useful before they step to a lab. You want them to be self-driven with potential, not the one who shows up empty-handed hoping for a role. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more insights on college admissions for STEM students, and share this video with another parent whose teenager is looking to get into a science high school. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.